Hello, my name is Devaney and thanks for tuning into Short Not Sweet. This week I will be doing a definitive rundown of the best fashion from HBO's House of the Dragon. And just a spoiler warning, in case you haven't seen the first 5 episodes, that's what I'm going to be focusing on today. So maybe you want to go back and watch them and then come back to this video. Okay, you're back, so let's go ahead and get into it. And I really want to start with the hair. And if I'm talking about hair on House of the Dragon, I really got to focus on the Velaryon family. And we need to also acknowledge the fact that wig technology seems to have greatly improved since the original Game of Thrones series. I know y'all remember Daenerys. Sometimes those wigs was cute, but sometimes they were just not the moment. I'm sorry. And the Velaryon family seems to really get it right. They are the first black family of Westeros, so they really needed to get it right. Specifically, my favorite is Corliss Velaryon. Him and those like platinum blonde long locks. I think they look really good, especially like when he's in battle and like whipping back and forth and everything. I think they look really fabulous. I love them. Also, I mean, the dreadlocks on, someone like Corliss Velaryon is just for practicality's sake. Anyway, I mean, he's famous for being a seafarer. You don't have time to be, getting your hair cut and all this mess all the time. So he's got his dreads and he could just be out here doing his thing. I love that for him. Also, Miss Daenerys Targaryen, she married into she's Rhaenys Velaryon now. She married into the Velaryon family, and so she has some catching up to do, But I really enjoy that little that very high front hair. She's got the half up, half down with a little flat twist in the front. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if y'all remember flat twist, man. I always had like a flat twist hairdo for the first day of school. So when I saw Miss Rhaenys' hair, I was like, okay, we see each other. And then talking about Laenor, I don't love his style as much because I feel like it's almost like he's in the shadow of his father, He's got those short dreadlocks. Sometimes he puts them up in a ponytail. And it feels like it's reminiscent of his role in the show. I mean, he can't be his full self. He's gay. It's a very homophobic society. And, he's kind of like trying to play the role, he's doing as his father does to probably to please his dad, but it really doesn't feel comfortable for him, so I don't love it, but I think it's really fitting for that character and his role in the show. And then last, Miss Laena Velaryon. Love her so much. And if you notice, when she was the little girl actor in the first couple of episodes, she had this gigantic white curly wig on, and it almost looked too big for her. And as a person that's always had big hair, I really related to that. As a person who's broken many a comb, like I saw that and I really saw myself in that. But as she grows up, Laena Velaryon, you can see she even grows into the wig, and the character looks really good, especially in episode 5. She's really grown into herself, and it really just shows the growth of that character. Now, and we're talking about hair, an honorable mention, I have to give it to Damon Targaryen, because you know what, most of the time these characters, they kind of have one hairstyle and they stick to it, but Damon, he is ever changing, and I feel like it really fits with the mercurial nature of that character. Just, you never know what he's going to be up to. You never know what he's going to do, And so in the first couple of episodes, we see him with that long hair. I especially like it at the tourney in the first episode, where he's got his dragon head helm over that long hair. It has the dragon head helm has like these red ruby eyes and this long red plume in the back. Ridiculous, dramatic, very, very Damon. And then we get to episodes, I believe 3. He's fighting the stepstone. He still has the long hair, but it's like matted and dirty and dusty and ugh. But somehow Matt Smith, the actor, makes that work. And then when we get to episodes 4 and 5, it's almost like he's shorn of any pretense, any like trying to be, he's not going to be the heir anymore because Rhaenyra is the heir. He's gone ahead and got his little crown and the stepstones. He's doing something else. And so he's got this short hair. He's cut off all that long Legolas wig from Lord of the Rings hair. And he's doing something different. He's his own man again. I also like the way that Damon dresses. He wears this 3-paneled, I don't know if it's a doublet, if it's a breastplate, whatever, girl. It's got these 3 panels. It's like metal studded. It has a very strong shoulder. I don't know if they have an Isabel Marant over in Westeros, but I really like this look. I think he always looks really good. And it just like really fits with his character, Really enjoying. I think he's probably my favorite character of the series right now. Now getting into Viserys. As I said, his brother, Daemon Targaryen, he changed his hair a lot. It's almost like a marking of the passage of time, the changing of Daemon Targaryen's hair. But Viserys Targaryen, unfortunately, the way that you see the marking of time for him is the loss of limbs. I mean, he just looks raggedier and raggedier every single episode. That poor man. And it just is, it's a very quintessential part of his character. Now, he's the king, right? He's the leader of Westeros, and so he's supposed to anyway project this strength. And how do they do that? He's always carrying his cat's paw dagger, that Valyrian steel dagger. It's always kind of like looming in the frame a little bit. It's very jarring once you notice it. And, you know, Viserys Targaryen, he's no longer a dragon rider. He was the last rider of Balerion the Black Dread. You know, he's not very strong. He's not a warrior. But he carries this Valyrian steel dagger, kind of a marker of his Targaryen heritage. It also has the Song of Ice and Fire emblazoned on it. So it's just his connection to strength as the king, and also his connection to his Targaryen heritage. And I think that's really interesting how they always have that kind of in frame. Maybe not always the focus of the frame, but you always kind of see it when you see him. And another thing that we always see him in, he's always in he's like the king of loungewear, the king of athleisure. He loves the athleisure moment. He always has his little white nightie when he's walking around, you know, messing around with his Valyrian freehold model in his chambers or whatever. Sometimes he even has his cat's paw dagger on while he's doing that. And, you know, he's a sickly guy, and he's the king. He doesn't have to always be dressed up, I guess. So it kind of, I guess it makes sense for the character. I just feel like a lot of the fashion for him, it really, it embodies that sickliness. It embodies what he's going through. The fact that he is slowly, sometimes not so slowly, decaying in front of us and trying to project strength at the same time as all that is going on. And I'm sure that will continue to develop as the show goes on as well. Now, next, we need to talk about Lady Mysaria, aka Lady Misery, aka the White Worm. I mean, this is a very interesting character, and we need to acknowledge her for who exactly she is, and that is the Lisa Ray of Westeros. Now, if you don't know who Lisa Ray is, I mean, you need to Google. She's the best. She's an icon. She's an actor, and she's very well known for always wearing an all-white look, okay? And Lady Mysaria is really following in those those footsteps. We often see her in all-white look. Now, when we first see her in episode 1, she's in her birthday suit. You know, she's letting it all hang out. She's at work. She's in the brothel. She's, you know, and trying to make sure Damon has a good time. And, you know, she's failing, but that's not really her fault, okay? And then the next time we see her, she's in the brothel still, but, you know, it seems like she's moved up a little bit. You know, she's got an all-white dress on with little cutouts. She's talking to Damon. She's carrying drinks. You know, maybe she's, you know, graduated to being a bottle girl. You know, she has really moved up in the world already. Next time we see her, she is with Damon, and they are going away on his dragon. She's being introduced to Caraxes, Damon's dragon. She's wearing this beautiful all-white cape outfit thing. I mean, she is, you see, her station has clearly changed. The next time we see her, she's on Dragonstone. She's on the bridge with everybody. And yet another cape. A cape with a cutout. I mean, she's got an updo, giving very regal, okay? The girl, she's on a new level now, all right? We need to acknowledge that. And then last time we see her in episode 4, she's got like, I don't know, like, it almost looks like a suit. It's not a suit. They don't have suits back then. But she's got like this strappy top on, just really giving, I'm a business owner now. I don't have to mess with you, Damon Targaryen. Her in that very strange accent. She's definitely giving, I'm a new type of girl. I've moved up in the world, and we really love that for her. Okay, so now we need to get into the main 2 characters of the show. The 2 main fashion girls, the 2 main girls, and we're going to start with Miss Rhaenyra Targaryen. Now, Rhaenyra, she's a Targaryen. Obviously, she is a princess, and then eventually she becomes the heir to the Iron Throne. So obviously, she's very privileged. You know, she's powerful. She's not initially the heir to the Iron Throne. She's made that later. But from the beginning, though, she is still powerful. She's a dragon rider on Syrax. But she's also rebellious. She's always rebelling against the norms and expectations that are placed on her. So in episode 1, we see her she's supposed to be studying with her friend Allison, who we'll get to soon. But she decides, you know, I don't need to study this stuff. I already know it. I just want to fly around on my dragon with you and eat cake and live my best life. In later episodes, she is established as the heir to the Iron Throne, and she wants that. She does want the Iron Throne, but she doesn't want all of the responsibilities and expectations that come with it. So, you know, marrying some guy who just wants her for her name, that she doesn't even love. She doesn't want to have to squeeze out heirs, as she says to Allison. Hightower. She doesn't want to be nice to people who she hates and all those like when she's at the hunt, you see her being rude to everybody because she can't stand none of the people. She's not trying to do that. And these are things that are expected of the heir, but she's kind of rebelling against them. She wants the privilege, but she doesn't want the duties that come with it. And I would say that that's something that's normal for someone of her age. You know, if you're 16 years old, yeah, you want to drive a car, but you're not trying to, pay car insurance. These are things that are kind of normal, but it's, I guess, to a different level when the thing that you want is to be the leader of the realm. And I think that this juxtaposition between duty and, kind of rebellion, this is something that's central to this character and central to the conflict of the show. And I think that you see it in her fashion as well. Some of my favorite looks. Now, you often see her in her house colors of black and red with some gold mixed in. You see it on her gowns and her outerwear, like her little coats that she's wearing, her dresses. But again, the most interesting parts for me are when you see her doing something that's a little bit outside of what's expected of someone of her station. So for the first moment, I want to talk about what she wore to go to Dragonstone on Cyrex to take back the dragon egg that Damon stole. She's resplendent. She's got this all black outfit on with these dragon scales on the I don't know if it's actually dragon scales, but she's got these scales on the shoulders. She looks strong, And this is something that, of course, her dad did not want her to do. Otto Hightower, he thought he was going to be the one to get back the egg. I don't know why he thought that. She wasn't supposed to have done this, but she kind of rebels. She does her own thing. She knows that she's the best person for this job, and she puts herself forward. And I would even argue that this is something that would make her a good ruler, but it's frowned upon. She's not supposed to have done this, right? Now, another look is in episode 3 when they go to the hunt. And she's wearing like this red and gold, I don't know if it's activewear, whatever. She's got like this red and gold overcoats on. And she gets into an argument with her dad, runs into the woods, and Rhaenyra and Kristen Cole end up spending the night in the woods and get attacked by a boar. And in the end, Rhaenyra ends up killing the boar. And when they're coming back to camp with that animal, you can see her. She's covered in the boar's blood. Her hair is matted and covered in blood. Her face, her skin, her outfit is all covered in blood. And it really just juxtaposes, against what Viserys looks like, because he was supposed to have gone on a hunt too, and he had to have the animal tied down. It took him multiple tries to kill this animal. Juxtaposed against what Rhaenyra is wearing, and she did this on her own out of necessity. No one tied this animal down. It was her or him. And again, this is something I would think would make her seem to be a strong leader. A lot of people have stereotypes about women and women leaders in that society, and in our society too, of course. But it doesn't, instead of being looked at as, oh, this is a strong woman, oh, this is a person that maybe she would be a good leader, we need to talk about this, and we're focused on, oh, well, she doesn't look befitting of a princess, she doesn't look clean, she's covered in blood, she's matted, every hair is not in place, and her dad kind of looks at her with almost disgust when he sees her come back. Again, rebelling against what's expected of her. And I would even argue in a good way, but it's still frowned upon by society. Now, the last look, I would talk about the episode 4 when she sets out for the night with her uncle and probably future husband, Daemon Targaryen, and she's wearing an outfit that he gave to her. It's kind of, I guess, another instance of athleisure in this show, like kind of like a sweatshirt and some sweatpants. Or Westeros version of sweatshirts and sweatpants with a little beanie hat on. And I mean, this has got to be the world's worst disguise ever. But again, this is something she wore to rebel. Yeah, she wants to be the heir to the Iron Throne. You see her watching the Mummers farce where they're playing out what it's the goings on of the nobility, and she's booing them and trying to get people to be on her side. Because she does want to be queen. She does want the Iron Throne, and she thinks that people will just have to come over to her side. But the thing is, at the same time, she's not willing to do the things that people expect of her in order to get those things, in order to get that role, in order to get the Iron Throne. And just that rebellious nature versus duty and obligation is something that we see play out again and again. Now, speaking of duty and obligation, we need to talk about Allisons Hightower and what is her ethos. So, what's important to her? It's duty, it's righteousness, it's piety. Whereas Rhaenyra is, what do I want, or how do I get what I want? You know, Allisons Hightower is, what am I supposed to want? What am I supposed to do? How do I please those who I'm supposed to please? Right? In episode 1, we see her. She's every bit the lady. She's wearing very cute, innocent dresses, lots of light blue, lots of grays. And I think it's very interesting. One of her dresses has like some lattice work on it. And it's very reminiscent of the lattice work that is on the Kingsguard's armor. And I thought that was interesting because the Kingsguard, when you think of them, what do you think? They have to take a lot of vows and oaths, right? They're supposed to remain pious. They're supposed to, you know, they have to take a vow of chastity. They can't have families. They have to give up any claims to any lands. Lots of vows, lots of duty, lots of obligation. And this is something that's very reminiscent of Allisons Hightower. What am I supposed to do? What is my duty? You know, who am I supposed to be loyal to? How am I supposed to act? And so in episode 1, at the end of that episode, and episode 2, though, that duty kind of shifts because her dad is asking her, hey, put on your mother's dress, look a little sexy, go down to Viserys the King, and, you know, it's a warm, be nice to him, you know, kind of thing. Flirt with him, and not in those words maybe, be enticing to him. So she starts dressing a little bit more sexy. She's dressing in more like blues and teals, blue-greens, cutouts on it, tighter dresses, you know, because her duty has shifted a little bit. Her duty is not to be this innocent young girl now. It's her duty is to become this young woman that will be pleasing to the king. And why is she doing that? To please her father. And then things change a little bit because then in episodes 3 and 4, she's married to Viserys by now. She's a married woman. She's a mother. And so who is her duty to? She's dutiful toward her husband, Viserys. You see her in the Targaryen colors. She's in the red and the gold and the black. You know, very loyal to her husband. In episode 3, when they go to the hunt, you see her in that red and gold number with the gold hairnet. She's very heavily pregnant. Just again, very loyal. Who is her duty to? It's to her husband and her husband's house. You see her when she makes up with Rhaenyra. She's wearing another red and gold dress. She's in the Godswood talking to Rhaenyra, wearing those colors that represent Targaryen. This is who I'm loyal to. This is who my duty is to now. Now, everything changes a little bit in episode 5 because her father, Sir Otto Hightower, gets fired as Hand of the King and is sent back to their homeland. And him and Allison have a discussion in the courtyard where he kind of shifts what she's supposed to be loyal to. What is her duty in that moment? He tells her, you know, Rhaenyra, her claim to the Iron Throne is not strong. And in order to shore up her claim, Rhaenyra will have to kill Allison's sons, is what Otto Hightower says to her. So he's the bug in her ear. Okay, so now my duty is to my sons. I have to protect them. And how do I protect them? Oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't be as loyal to Rhaenyra and her family after all. And this is just bolstered when she talks to Larys Strong. This is, again, a bug in Allison's ear. Like, okay, maybe I'm being loyal to Rhaenyra. Because in this moment when she talks to Larys Strong, she's still wearing that red and gold dress, remember? Then she finds out that Rhaenyra lied to her. And so the next scene, what do you see her wearing? Oh, she's back in that blue, green, teal dress with the cutouts that she wore to first flirt with Viserys, her mother's dress. She's out of those colors of her husband's house, out of the colors of Rhaenyra's house. She's doing her own thing. She's investigating. She's talking to Kristen Cole about what actually happened the night Damon and Rhaenyra went out. Now, the next time we see her, she's found out from Kristen Cole that Rhaenyra and Kristen Cole hooked up. The next time we see her is at the betrothal dinner for Rhaenyra and Laenor Velaryon. And what is she wearing? This is the big moment where she pops out in those colors, her house colors, of that emerald green. She makes that statement, okay, I'm loyal to my family now. This moment is interesting because it's not quite those things that her father told her to wear, that blue, green, the teal that she was supposed to wear. And of course, it's not the Targaryen colors anymore. It's something else. She's clinging to her family colors. And this is something she's doing of her own volition. Nobody really told her to do this. Now, why is that something that she wants to do now? Why does she want to wear her family's colors? People I know have said her on the internet, she feels betrayed. She's betrayed because Rhaenyra lied to her. But I would say even more than being lied to, I think she is lashing out because Allison has always done what she is supposed to do. You know, she's gone for what she's supposed to want. And many of these things, I would argue, she obviously do not want. She didn't want to marry Viserys Targaryen. He's old as hell, and he's falling apart besides, you know. She clearly, I think she's miserable being a mother. I don't know if it's postpartum depression or what's going on, but she does not seem to want to be a mother at all. She seems miserable with those kids every time we see her. But she did these things out of obligation. And so it's almost like, how dare Rhaenyra not feel the same sense of obligation that I feel? She has been kind of flouting the rules at every turn. Why does she get to do that when I have felt this sense of obligation and duty to do the things that I clearly do not want to do? But it's very different because Rhaenyra, of course, she comes from a place of more privilege than Allison's. And also she has a person in her life like Damon Targaryen to tell her, yeah, you have your duties, you have to do these things, but at the same time, there's room to find your pleasure in between fulfilling your duties, right? Allison doesn't really have that. She's got a bunch of people around her telling her what she's supposed to want and what she's supposed to do, and she never found her way out of that. She never found her way to doing something that she actually wanted. And this moment where she pops out in the green dress, I feel like this is like that first moment when she's doing something for herself. And in this moment, after living a whole life of obligation, Allison decides she wants Rhaenyra to pay for her lack of obligation, right? And this green dress that she wears is a statement of intent. It's a statement of intent. Hey, you've been out here doing whatever you want your whole life. Well, guess what? I'm going to make you pay for that. And that's what I think is going to be interesting as the series plays out. All right, well, I hope that this was fun. If it was, maybe you'll consider liking this video and subscribing to this channel. Let me know in the comments, like, what was your favorite outfit? And, you know, I had a lot of fun doing this. Maybe I should do this for the next couple, the last half of the season. Let me know what you think. I usually do videos on fashion, so I'm going to link to a video where I talk about high fashion brands that I just do not understand, that I'm just so confused by. Thank you so much for watching, and please take care of yourself. Bye.